Improving energy performance across property portfolios is a big ask. It requires that you get the involvement of all stakeholders. It requires that you access the right investment for the right technology and that you have good data to help you make good decisions. But the rewards of achieving higher performing and more sustainable properties are great. So let's find out what's happening on the ground and speak to a few of those responsible for delivering real energy improvements across the property portfolios of their businesses. I'm keen to know what barriers stand in their way and how they hope to jump over them.
Because we're a successful business, we're building new facilities. Now, working on the agenda that I'm working on, that makes it particularly challenging. I mean, obviously it's a great place to be because it's a successful business, but it's quite challenging to meet the corporate energy reduction and carbon reduction objectives.
Well, we have a number of interesting projects actually. We have a lot of combined heat and power plants on our sites which give us use the waste heat to heat our glass houses. And so we've got 3 megawatts up on our site in Cheshire, and we've got another 15 megawatts we're putting in down in Kent.
We look after a very large acute hospital teaching trust. We cover 6 sites of a variety of new PFI buildings as well as old buildings. We have an annual energy spend of around £11 million and a carbon footprint of around 55,000 tonnes a year.
The policy arena has become more complex, and government is introducing a series of measures to intervene and steer investment. We help provide clarity to developers, investors, people putting capital into the sector to understand that change in environment from the market to the more interventionist sector.
The 3 most important challenges are around engaging the workforce, just understanding the relative importance within the business, and then thirdly, the availability of capital to invest in improved efficiency and improved facilities.
Our biggest challenge really is fuel security, and trying to look forward to being able to invest, which gives understanding where the fuel price will be in the next few years, of course. And if you can try and invest to overcome those, then that's a real challenge.
There's a lot of competing policy mechanisms, from the domestic level and the Green Deal through to the introduction of contracts for difference to subsidise and incentivise low carbon generation. And there are competing objectives for, at the end of the day, a limited amount that the UK consumer can afford to pay across different incentive mechanisms.
What we found through our sort of behavioural change programmes is to find key messages that are very simple often, that people feel that they can influence, and then that gets them engaged and talking about the subject. Then often people are more likely to lead bigger groups and wider groups to kind of get more engaged in the more detailed areas that they can influence.
We need specific help, particularly on changes to legislation and regulation on how carbon is taxed and levied, because we're actually using carbon and we're being taxed to use it, which is absolutely crazy. If I wasn't taxed, I could invest.
Policy and government's really important. Some of the tariffs aren't so conducive to uptaking more sustainable measures such as telemedicine.
We look for tactical support in the supply chain, and we've got existing service level agreements with organisations like Mighty already in place.
And we've looked at all the usual sources, the government, etc., and our sector not really got much support. So we've had to go out on our own and roll our sleeves up and do it ourselves. So I'm looking for support from all over the place.
We regularly use people like the Sustainable Development Unit and the Centre for Sustainable Healthcare, the Cambridge Sustainable Leaders Forum, the 2 Degrees Networks, the Green Mondays Networks. There's a whole load of people who are really engaged in the subject.
It's excellent. I mean, sustainability has a fragmented and diverse stakeholder group, from consumers, policymakers, industry, taxpayers, and I think forums that bring those stakeholders together to share perspectives through the supply chain and across the value chain, I think is incredibly valuable to everybody.
We've had some small successes which we're very proud of, and I'm very keen to show those and share those with other people, because the idea is that they'll do the same with me, and I see this as a huge opportunity to lift everybody, so UK business, UK PLC, together by working together, and I see 2 Degrees in the Knowledge Hub as a huge and very important vehicle to do that.
I think the 2 Degrees Network is a fantastic way to engage with your peers and meet other suppliers in the business. I think it's you know, you have some great speakers, and it's a really good way to engage on a informal basis to kind of find out what people are doing, and also to try and get some of the third-party help that's needed in the sector at the moment.